Okay, so we can start the class. Um, we have come across functions chapter till here, and yesterday I said I will discuss about recursive function. Okay, so this is the category that is recursive functions. So this is one of the category of the functions, but it is not listed in the categories where we have function with arguments and return types and all. Okay, so they have made it a separate category. But when we look at the example of this recursive function, so it may come in one of the category. Okay, and this concept is little bit different from the other functions. So we can discuss this. So the function which calls by itself is called recursive function. Okay, in this case both calling and called function will be the same. So the term recursion or recursive means like which happens to be itself. Okay, so here whenever we say in case of mathematics also, if I tell recurring, okay, that means same number may repeat or same series of number may repeat. So if for example I say like see, sometimes we say 3.333. So after decimal point, this 3 is recurring. We can say like that. Or in some cases, not the same number, but the series may repeat. For example, if it's a 3.123, again 123, again 123. So the series is repeating. So this process is called as recurring. So same thing here also recursion. So recursion or recursive function means the function which calls by itself. Okay, and there will be only one function in this case. So within one function only we have to understand this concept. Main function will be there because main function is needed for every C and C++ program. Along with main function, one sub function will be there. So in this case, both calling and called function will be the same function. Okay, so we will see how it is. Okay, okay. So you look at this syntax. Uh, so one function have written, but if you consider the previous categories, like function with no arguments and no return value, in that case, in the syntax only have considered two functions, calling function and called function. So this fourth category it is visible for you. So in this case, we have discussed with two functions, that is calling function and called function. So taking separate functions, but in case of recursive function, so I have taken only one function in the general format. So this itself acts as calling and this itself acts as called function. Okay. So here you look at the diagram. So when this function is executed, you look at the arrow mark what I have put. So after the after the statements of functions are executed, say if I want to call this function once again, then somewhere in the middle, in the first line or in the middle or at the end, I have to write this statement again, function of A. That means whatever the function name you are using, once again you have to write within the function because it has to call itself. Okay, that means see where I'm showing the pointer, function of A. This line will be the called function. So here semicolon is missing. So semicolon should be there. In the example I have put. So function of A. This line is called as, this statement is called as function call statement. Okay. So when control comes to this line, you look at the arrow mark. Again, it is repeated. So this function again once again it will execute. So when it executes for the second time, so all the statements are executed. Again, when it comes to this particular line, the program control will move to the beginning of the function. Okay, this process will be repeated. Okay, so here in case of looping also we came across like process will be repeated. Okay, many times statements will be executed for while loop, do while loop, and for loop. So here also it is done in the same way, but here we write a condition to stop it. Okay, some condition should be written that is called as base condition. So in the example you will come to know. See, so you look at the example. See here when we write the example without main function, we can call it as a part of the program. Okay, without main function, if I write any coding, that is called part of the program. Not only function, anything like if I write only while loop, only do while loop, only for loop. So sometimes in interview they will ask the question in case of a technical written test or oral interview also, they will write only part of the code and tell you to write the output. Okay, or tell you to find out the error. Okay, or error intentionally they will make it and tell you to solve the error in that way. So in that case only part of the program will be written. So here also you look at this function, this is part of the program, main function is not there here. So let us try to understand this. Okay, so long is a data type, just like int, float, character, double. Here long is a data type. So when we use it with integers, like we can store integer values more than 32,768. Okay, so if we don't say anything like long int, long float, long double, anything, just if you write long, it refers to integer. That is the default thing. Without writing int, float, character, if I write only the keyword long, it refers to integer. Okay, so long fact, that means long integers we can store here. Fact meaning here I am trying to find out the factorial of a number, so I have taken the function name as fact, meaning factorial. So you can write full name also, factorial function name, or just f, or just fact, however you want. But you see that you follow the identifier rules. Okay, and one variable I have taken, that is the variable n. Okay, so if n is equals to 0, return 1, or else in the sense here I have not written else. It is understood that if the condition is false, the program control will come to the next line. So your small spelling mistake is there, return, it is return word. Okay, return keyword here, return n into fact of n minus 1. So this is one statement. So we have two statements, that is return 1 and return n into fact of n minus 1. Okay, fine. So, so we will see how it works. Before that, just let us have some background knowledge. That is, to find the factorial of a given number in mathematics, what we do. For example, you say 5 factorial. So, you people know already. In mathematics, we have come across these things. Okay. So, in mathematics, we have come across these things. That is, finding out the factorial of a number. Okay. So that is, if I say 5 factorial, you can say like 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, or 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Similarly for 6 factorial also, if I say 6 factorial, 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, or 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6. Okay. So in any way you can write it. Okay. But finally we have to get the result. Okay. So if I say 5 factorial, if I say 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 4, or 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5, the result is 120. Okay. So from 5 to 1 you can come, or from 1 to 5 you can go. Okay. Okay. So in case of programming, that is when we code this particular logic, so how it happens we will see. So this is the code, long fact of int n, if n is equals to 0, return 1, return n into fact of n minus 1. Okay. So here is, it is a tracing in the sense how this actually works in the system. Okay, how the compiler executes this code. Okay, and tracing happens at the back end in the computer, so we cannot notice the tracing on the screen, but we have to understand it. Okay, while writing on the paper we can write it. Okay, but this all things are done by the processor. Okay, we will see how it works. Now let us consider n is equals to 5. So if I consider n is equals to 5, so that becomes fact of 5. Okay, you substitute the n value here. Fact of int n is there, right? There you substitute. So it becomes int 5. Int 5 in the sense, no need of writing int because we know 5 is an integer. So let us write fact of 5. Okay, I hope you got it. When you consider n is equals to 5, substitute in the first line. Long fact int of n is there, right? There you substitute. In that case, don't write long and int, just write fact of 5. Okay, that means we are trying to find out the factorial of 5. Okay, according to the coding, if n is equals to 0, we substitute the value. 5 is equals to 0, n value is 5, right? 5 is equals to 0. Is this condition true? No, this condition is false. 5 is not equal to 0, it is false. So when this condition is false, in the example, in the coding, if the condition is false, statement immediately following the condition will not be executed. That is, return 1 is there, right? That is not executed. Okay, return 1 is not executed. If return 1 is not executed, return n into fact of n minus 1 is executed. So again I will tell, return 1 is not executed, return n into fact of n minus 1 is executed. That means return 1 statement is skipped here. So if we execute return n into fact of n minus 1, so again you substitute the value. 5 into fact of 5 minus 1, 5 into fact of 4, 5 into, say I have given blank here. Okay, I have not written anything. That means we don't know the fact of 4. Okay, that means fact of 4, don't directly write here 24. 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, you just don't calculate and write it. Let computer calculate it. Okay, According to mathematics, we know, but according to computer science, that means according to programming language, let it calculate. So you just leave it as blank, 5 into blank. Then what we do, we will take this n value as 4. Each time it will be decreased because here n minus 1 is there. So n minus 1 means each time it is decreased by 1. Okay. If you take n minus 1, it becomes 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. Now come to the second round of tracing. So you look at the syntax. When program control comes to this line, function of a, again it is transferred to the first line where this a value is substituted again. Okay, once again it is substituted. If it substitutes again, so new value will be substituted, not the old value. So here n is equals to 5. After substituting, it becomes 4 because n minus 1 it is taken. N minus 1 means 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. Now we come to the second round. That is fact of 4. So fact of 4 means you have to consider n is equals to 4 here. Okay, not 5. You have to consider n is equals to 4. So if n is equals to 4, now let us see what happens. If n is equals to 0, so substitute the value of n. 4 is equals to 0. Condition is false. If the condition is false, again the same process. Return 1 which is present immediately after condition is not executed. It is skipped because condition is false. So it will come to the return n into fact of n minus 1. So return n into fact of n minus 1, 4 into fact of 4 minus 1, 4 into fact of 3, 4 into blank, because fact of 3 we don't know. Okay. Yes, anybody speaking? If you have any doubt, you can speak, otherwise mute it. So 4 into fact of 3. So what we do here, fact of 3 is blank. Okay. Because factorial of 3 we don't know. Again, I am telling, according to mathematics we know, but according to coding we don't know. We have to leave it as blank. Again, come to this next round of tracing, and you substitute the value of n as 3 now, not 4, because each time it is decreased. N minus 1 is present. So fact of 3, substitute the value. If n is equals to 0, 3 equals to 0, condition is false. Say return n into fact of n minus 1, 3 into fact of 3 minus 1, 3 into fact of 2, 3 into blank. We don't know the value of factorial of 2. Now come to the fourth round. So substitute n is equals to 2 now. So fact of 2. If n is equals to 0, 2 is equals to 0, condition is false. So return n into fact of n minus 1, 2 into fact of 2 minus 1, 2 into fact of 1, 2 into blank. Factorial of 1 we don't know. Okay. So again next round of tracing. So fact of 1. So substitute the value of n as 1. If n is equals to 0, 1 equals to 0, condition is false. Same thing, return n into fact of n minus 1, 1 into fact of 1 minus 1, 1 into fact of 0, 1 into factorial of 0, we don't know. Okay. So in mathematics, according to mathematics, factorial of 0 is 1. Factorial of 0 is not 0 in mathematics, it is 1. Okay, that you remember. So substitute the value of n. So in the next round of tracing, n is equals to 0. Fact of 0. If n is equals to 0, now at this condition you have to stop, because it is not like previous round of tracing. Something new is there. That new thing is condition is true. It is not false. At the last case, condition will become true. If n is equals to 0, substitute the value. 0 is equals to 0. Condition is true. If condition is true, see in the coding we have two statements: return 1 and return n into fact of n minus 1. From these two lines, which statement is executed if the condition is true? Return 1 is executed, because it is present immediately after the condition. So in case of if condition, statement present immediately after the condition will be executed when the condition becomes true. Okay. Otherwise that statement will be skipped. That means if the condition is false. So now condition has become true. Return 1 is executed. Return 1 indicates factorial of 0 is 1. Now we got one answer, not complete answer. One answer we got it. Return 1 indicates factorial of 0 is 1. So when we get factorial of 0 is equals to 1, you substitute in the previous round. I hope you people are getting. When we get the factorial of 0 is 1, we have to substitute in the previous round where we have put the blank, like fill in blanks here. Factorial of 0 is blank here. Okay. So we have to substitute there. So how did we get factorial of 0 is 1? Because there is a statement called as return 1. Return 1 indicates we are that function is returning value 1 when n value is 0. You just concentrate on the sentence. The function is returning value 1 when n value is 0. That is nothing but factorial of 0 is 1. So we got the factorial of 0 is 1. Now we substitute this factorial of 0 in fact of 0. Okay. Whatever the value we will get it, we substitute in fact of 1. And whatever the value we get it, we will substitute in fact of 2. Similarly, fact of 3, fact of 4. So in the next tracing I have done say. Okay, see here. in the next image, you just come to the last round, sixth. I have put the numbers in circles. You come to the last one, sixth. Okay, in sixth column, that is fact of 0, return 1. You just look at the arrow mark where I have substituted that value. You look at this arrow mark, fact of 0, where I have put the blank in the previous round, there I have substituted. So 1 into 1 value is 1. You just look at the arrow mark where I have substituted. So I have substituted here fact of 1. Wherever I have left blank in the previous diagram, there I kept on substituting. Okay, 2 into 1. So 2 into 1 is 2. And this value is substituted in the previous round. You just look at this arrow mark. Fact of 2 is 2. Okay, fact of 2 is 2. 3 into 2. So 3 into 2 is 6. Okay, this 6 is substituted in the fact of 3. Okay, because in each column it is telling which value we are getting. Fact of 3. Okay, so 4 into 6. 4 into 6 is 24. This value is substituted in the fact of 4. Okay, so wherever we have left blank in the previous diagram, there we kept on substituting. So 24 into 5 value is 120. Finally, we are getting fact of 5 is 120. So each column will tell what value we are getting. Fact of 5, fact of 4, fact of 3, fact of 2, fact of 1, fact of 0. So in the first diagram, from factorial of 5 to 0, we were not knowing the values. When we reached fact of 0, again we have to go to the previous rounds, because at the last round we are getting the value, that is factorial of 0 is 1, and we have to substitute in the previous round. You just look at these arrow marks, we'll come to know how we have substituted, and finally we got factorial of 5 is equals to 120. Okay, now you can take this screenshot. Both screenshots you can take. Okay, so if people take this one, next screenshot, that means in the previous diagram, wherever I have left blank, those blank values I have filled in the next tracing. Same example, we can say 2 steps of tracing. Okay, fine. Uh, so this is the complete program. You can take this also. So in this program, only thing is I have added the main function just to make this factorial function to work. So in the output, you will enter the value, enter the number 5. The factorial of 5 is equals to 120. So same logic is there. Long fact int n. If n is equals to 0, return 1. Return n into fact of n minus 1. So after it calculates the final value, that is fact of 5 120. This will return to the main function and it is printed here. Okay, the factorial of 5 is equals to 120. So this program with output also you can take down. Okay. So I think this program we have discussed in the previous class only. So that is to find the maximum of two numbers. So here we have to test the program two times. One is first thing you have to give the smallest number, then largest number, then largest number, then smallest number, because two possibilities you can give. So a is equals to 10, b is equals to 20, or a is equals to 20, b is equals to 10. So I think this program we have discussed in the previous class. So let us execute these two programs in the editor, that is factorial as well as to find the maximum of two numbers by using functions. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is the factorial of a given number. See, whenever you want to know the program control, we have to type F7 key. I hope you people know it. Okay. So here, first time we will execute as a whole program. Okay. So enter the number. I have given 5. The factorial of 5 is equals to 120. Okay. So now let us trace the program line by line. Okay. Say first main program is executed, that is main function, that is the line void main. So you can look at the highlighted line. Okay, for the line main. So that background color is changed for the particular line, that means the program is in tracing part. Okay, here, so line by line it will trace the program. The next clear screen, so enter the number. So when program control, so this is a program control, what you are looking, it is a program control. So when control comes to this particular line, that is scanf statement, so it will take us to output screen because we have to enter the value, right? So here I will write enter 5. Even you can check the value, whatever the value you have entered on the console screen, you can check it. So that is uh, go to debug option. Okay, in the debug inspect option is there. Inspect. Okay, you press enter. Just write the variable name for whichever value you want to look at. See, I have typed n. So now n value is 5 here. Okay. So when program control comes to this particular line, that is f is equals to fact of n. So f is equals to fact of n is a function call. So when program control comes to this line, it is transferred to the particular function, that is fact of n function. See here, it is transferred here. Okay. Now you just look at the tracing part. If n is equals to 0, See, whatever the variable n you used in main function, it is different from the variable n used in fact function. Only the values are copied, okay? But memory is different, okay? So only once again you have to check the n value here. So n value is 5 now, okay? So if 5 is equals to 0, condition is false. So if the condition is false, return 1. That statement is skipped. You observe the control, it is skipped because condition is false. So 5 into fact of 5 minus 1. So again it will go back. That means 5 minus 1 is 4. So fact of 4 it has to execute. So if n is equals to 0, 4 is equals to 0. See here value is also displayed on the top right corner. N value is displaying. So round by round it is displaying. So first round is completed. Now we are in second round. N value is 4 now. 4 is equals to 0. Condition is false. Return 4 into fact of 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. See here. So now n value is 3 now. Okay, n is equals to 0. Again condition is false. 3 into fact of 3 minus 1. N value is 2. 2 is equals to 0. Condition is false. 2 into fact of 2 minus 1. Okay. So n value is 1. 1 is equals to 0. Condition is false. 1 into fact of 1 minus 1. Okay. So now n value is 0. So 0 is equals to 0. Condition is true. So return 1. Okay. Return 1 means 1 value is returned. Now that iteration is stopped. Whatever the recurring it was happening from first line to last line, now it has stopped. It will come out. So once it comes out, previous values it will be filling. Okay. So whatever the previous values are there, fact of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it will be filling. So finally we get the result as the factorial of 5 is equals to 120. Okay. So this is the program, that is factorial of a given number. So even this program can be written without recursive functions also by using any of the loops like while loop, do while loop, or for loop. Here I have written because to explain recursive function how it works. Okay. Now we'll go for the program, that is to find the maximum of two numbers by using functions. Okay. So this is the program to find the maximum of two numbers by using functions. Just a minute. Okay. So line by line tracing we can do. So this is the program control. Whatever you are looking at the lines, those are the program control. Like for particular line, it is highlighted. That is program control. Okay. So two values 10, 20. So when program control comes to this line, if max of a comma b, okay, you check the values of a and b. So a value is 10. So go to debug option, inspect option, b value is 20. So 10 and 20, we are giving 10 and 20. A value is 10, b value is 20. So these values are transferred here. So x value will be 10, y value will be 20. So we just check here. So x is 10, y is 20. So 10 greater than 20, 10 greater than 20 is false. So 10 is greater than 20, that condition is false. Return 0. So return 0 means false. False means it will go for the else part. It will not execute the statement which is present immediately after if it is executed, statement immediately present after the else part. So it will print 20 is large. Okay, you observe it. Okay. Now in the other round, in the other way, if we give, that is first value as 20, next value is 10. Let us see. So 20, 10. Now check the values. So a value is 20, b value is 10. So 10 and 20 we are passing to the function. So x is 10 now. Sorry, x is 20, y is 10. So 20 greater than 10, true. Return 1. So statement immediately present after the if condition is executed. So 20 is large. So one thing in this program what you have to observe is, like we have two return statement in the function. Out of these two return statement, one will be executed at a time, not both. If the statement return 1 is executed, then return 0 is not executed. If the statement return 0 is executed, return 1 is not executed. That is in case of if else, statement immediately following the if is executed, or statement immediately following else is executed, not both. And compulsory one will be executed. We cannot say both are not executed. Statement immediately following if or statement immediately following else, both are not executed. So this condition is invalid. This statement is invalid. That means we cannot say like that. Either one will be executed and compulsory one will be executed, not both. So So in case of if else, okay. Now we'll go for the program. Okay. So this is all about program. So next, last thing we have in this functions chapter. Okay, that is functions and arrays. Okay, so we will see this topic. So this is the last topic in functions. So after that, we will go to the structures chapter. Okay, okay. The calling function calls the called function by sending an array name as an argument. Okay, so when we deal with arrays, so we will not send all the values of arrays because array means group of values. The concept of array is list of values or collection of values, collection of elements, meaning collection, group, list. We can say array means group or collection or list. List means it can be one or more, right? So we cannot send all the values to the called function. So what we do, only array name we will write in the function call. You just look at this line in the program. Display of a. So this is called function call. Okay. This is called as function call. Okay, so if you look at this line, only the array name we are sending. Array name means you look at this line, particular line, this is array. A is an array here. Okay, 10 is the size. So 10 values, maximum 10 values we can store. But if you look at the output, we have stored 5 values, so that is correct. So less than or equals to 10. Okay, you can store exact 10 values or less than 10 also. See here we have stored 5 values. So these are normal printf and scanf statements. So printf enter an array size. So we have the capacity to store 10 values in the computer memory, but in the output we can give only 5. That means less than or equals to 5. Okay. Here if I give 100, maximum size is 100. So we cannot keep on typing 100 values, right? So less than that also we can type. So that only I have explained here. So 10 is the maximum size of an array, but in the output what I wish to give only 5. So that is correct. Okay, that is taken as n value. Okay. Next, so when we give these 5 values, if you look at the display function, display of a. So display of a means this display is one function name. Okay. So when program control comes to this line, it is transferred to this particular function. So what I am doing here is just displaying the values of an array. The main thing what you have to understand in this program is, like in the function call, we will not write entire array. That is the main thing you have to write, understand. So like enter a of 10. So in this way we will not write, okay? Because we are not sending all the values at a time. Only array name we are sending. By using array name only, here the elements are displayed. So that is the concept of functions and arrays. Okay. So whatever the for loop I have written, which displays the array values. So that is the concept of functions and arrays. I think okay. This program in the previous class only people have taken the screenshot. Now last screenshot you take it so that we'll go to the next chapter. Okay, just a minute. Okay, you take this screenshot. Okay, so that we'll move to the next chapter. Okay. So we will move to the next chapter. It's called, hello? Okay, fine. The next chapter is called structures. Okay. So we will look into this chapter. So definition is structure is a collection of elements with same name and same or different type. See, when we deal with structures, just one similarity and difference between arrays and structures, let us understand first. Okay, both array and structure meaning is like collection. Okay, grouping the things. Okay, or list of things, we can say list of things or grouping the things is called as array and structure. Both we can call. So that is the main similarity. Okay, and we have to give one name for the collection. When we group the things, we have to give one name for that grouping. Okay, if it's a collection of textbooks, give one name for that. Okay, if you collect some textbooks and put it in a bag or box, you put a label on that. So that label should the whatever the name you give for that label, so it should belong to all the books in the bag or the box. Okay, that is called as structure or array. But difference between array and structure is, in case of array, if you are collecting textbooks, if I say if you collect 5 textbooks, you see that all the 5 textbooks should belong to the same subject. Okay, if it's a collection of 5 computer science textbooks, okay, you see that all the textbooks belong to the same name, same type. Okay, but in case of structures, if we collect textbooks, so it can be same or different. You can say 3 computer books, 2 physics textbooks. That makes structure. 3 computer books and 2 physics books. So that makes structure. But that doesn't make array. If you are telling it as an array, all the items in that box or a bag should belongs to the same type. Okay. Uh, in case of structures, same or different. If you collect all 5 textbooks of same subject, that is also correct. If you collect 3 textbooks with one subject and 3 with another, that is also correct. Okay, so the definition says structure is a collection of elements with same name and same or different type. Okay, so it can be same type or different type. Some more definitions are there. Structure is a collection of variables referenced by one name. So in the example, we will come to know. Providing a convenient means of keeping related information together. A structure declaration forms a template that may be used to create structure objects. The variable that makes up the structure are called members. Okay. Structure members are commonly referred to as elements or fields. See here, some things you have to remember in case of structures. As in case of functions, we have some 11 to 12 terms, right? Here also, structure members or structure elements or structure fields. Three are same. Three terms means the same. Structure members, structure elements, structure fields. These three terms remains the means the same. And when it comes to the variable, there is a little bit different concept. I will tell you. Okay. So this is the format, the general format, or we can say syntax to declare the structure. Okay. Struct is a keyword here. Okay. Structure name, opening brace, type member 1, type member 2 up to member n, closing brace,